Now that you know about biconditionals, we can talk about good definitions. For a definition to be a good definition, it must have three properties. First, it must use clearly and commonly understood terms that are already defined. Second, they must be precise. They avoid ambiguous terms like large, sort of, almost, and like. And finally, they are reversible. That means they can be written as a biconditional. So let's try this. Is the definition of a quadrilateral reversible? If yes, write it as a biconditional. A quadrilateral is a polygon with exactly 4 sides. Is this a good definition? Does it use terms that are commonly understood and already defined? Quadrilateral we already know as a 4-sided polygon. Polygon is a many-sided figure. And 4 sides is very precise. In fact, they went even more precise to say exactly 4 sides. So that also meets the second criteria. They are precise. So the question is this reversible? If we switch this sentence around, a polygon with exactly 4 sides is a quadrilateral, is that also true? Well, yes, this is also true. So this meets the 3 requirements of a good definition. So we can write it as a biconditional. In order to do that, we need to identify our hypothesis and conclusion. Our hypothesis is going to be the subject, a quadrilateral. And our conclusion is going to be, is a polygon with exactly 4 sides. Now I say it's going to be that, but we need to make sure they're complete sentences. So how can we write a quadrilateral as a general sentence? How about this? A figure is a quadrilateral. Notice that all that I'm talking about here is a quadrilateral. I'm not introducing anything about the number of sides or that it's a polygon or anything like that. Now we are going to join our hypothesis and conclusion with the phrase if and only if. Remember that that is how we make our biconditional. And the conclusion is a polygon with exactly 4 sides. We need to write that as a sentence. So how about it is a polygon with exactly 4 sides? And there we have our biconditional statement. We could write this because our original definition was a good definition. It uses clearly defined terms. It is precise and it is reversible. Sometimes the easiest way to determine if something is a good definition or not is to see if there's a counterexample. So let's see if we can identify which of these 4 examples are good definitions. A fish is an animal that swims. I know for a fact that a dolphin is not a fish. So I have a counterexample to this statement. Therefore, it is not a good definition. Rectangles have 4 corners. Now, a lot of people say, well, squares have 4 corners, but you need to be careful because a square is a rectangle. However, any quadrilateral has 4 corners, so even this parallelogram has 4 corners, and it is not a rectangle. Therefore, this also is not a good definition. Notice that neither one of these things meet the requirement of being reversible. An animal that swims is not necessarily a fish, and a figure that has 4 corners is not necessarily a rectangle. Let's look at C. Giraffes are animals with very long necks. The first thing that comes to my mind as I look at this example is the phrase very long. What does that mean? How long is very long? So I question whether this one is a good definition simply because it's not precise. But then also if we try to reverse it, animals with very long necks are giraffes. Well, what about an ostrich? An ostrich has a very long neck, but it's not a giraffe. So, on two accounts, this one is not a good definition. But let's take a look at our last one. Every term is well understood or well defined. We're being precise. We have a coin and 1 cent. And what if we reverse the statement? A coin worth 1 cent is a penny. I still can't think of a counterexample. The reverse of this is also true. So it meets all three requirements of a good definition. So therefore, it is a good definition.